You're about to waste 90 days of your life waiting for permission that's never coming. And I need you to hear this because I'm watching so many brilliant women who could genuinely change their entire life trajectory, sit on the sidelines and convince themselves that January 1st, 2026, or whatever year you're watching this, is going to be different. It's not. Let me guess where you are right now. You started 2025 with this whole energy, right? Vision board, new journal, maybe even a manifestation playlist, a mood board. You told yourself that this year was your year. You were going to get serious about your goals, finally start that thing you've been talking about, finally become her. And here we are, October, 3 months left. And if you're being really honest with yourself, like the kind of honest that makes your stomach drop a little, the kind of honesty that you like to avoid, you're basically in the same spot you were in January. Maybe you made some progress, maybe you didn't, but deep down, you know you could have done so much more. And before you close this video because it's hitting too close to home, I need you to stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you is going to be the difference between going into 2026 wishing for change and actually living it. Here's what nobody's telling you about this whole winter arc, the great lock-in that everyone's suddenly obsessed with. And this is specifically for ambitious women like us, for me and for you. Because the conversation that we need to have is completely different from the ones that we've been seeing all over our feeds. You're not lazy. I know it feels like that sometimes, especially at 2 a.m. when you're doom scrolling and hating yourself for not doing the things that you said you'd do. But you're not lazy. You're just stuck in the knowing and consuming mode. And there's a massive difference between knowing what you need to do and actually doing it. You know you should exercise. You know you should work on your goals. You know you should stop procrastinating. You've consumed enough content about it. You've watched enough videos, saved enough Instagram carousels, bookmarked enough threads. But knowledge without execution is just very expensive entertainment. And monetary cost is not what I'm referring to here. So why are you stuck? And I mean really stuck, not the "oh, I just need motivation" stuck. Because here's what I'm seeing and what I need to call out. You're confusing motion with progress. You'll spend 3 hours planning your week in Notion. You will research the perfect morning routine. You'll watch video after video about discipline and habits. And then you'll post on your close friends list about your goals for the new year. And for a moment, just a brief, beautiful moment, it feels good. Like you made progress and you did something. Like you're finally taking action. But you're not. You're just performing productivity. And I know this because I've done it. I've been the girl with the color-coded calendar, the perfectly curated productivity aesthetic, who still actually wasn't really moving forward. And then the guilt cycle starts. You feel lazy so you do nothing, which makes you feel worse, so you watch more self-improvement content to make you feel like you're doing something. But you're still not actually doing the thing. And the cycle continues. But here's what's really happening underneath all of that. And this is where it gets uncomfortable. You're waiting for perfect conditions that don't exist. You're waiting to feel ready. You're waiting for confidence to magically appear. You're waiting for January 1st like it's some kind of magic reset button. And I need you to understand something that changed for me. January doesn't exist, not in the way that you think it does. It's an arbitrary date that we've collectively decided somehow means a new beginning. But you know what else is a new beginning? Right now, this moment. October, November, March, July, whenever you're watching this video. So here's the mindset shift I want you to make. And this is crucial. Think of the next 3 months as a mini lifetime. Not as the end of the year when nothing really matters because I'll just start fresh in January. But as a complete lifetime when you can transform everything. Because you can. Because here's what 3 months actually is. 90 days, over 2,000 hours. It's actually enough time to build a habit so deeply into your system that by the time the new year comes around, you're not starting, you're continuing. Imagine this for a second. It's January 1st. Everyone around you is posting their resolutions. They're talking about how this new year will be different, buying new planners and setting new goals. But you're already 3 months deep into your transformation. You've already proven to yourself that you can show up. You've already built momentum. You're not hoping for change, you're living it. That's what we are building towards. Not perfection, not some Instagram-worthy transformation with beautiful before and after pictures. I'm talking about real identity level change that sticks. But to go there, we need to talk about why you keep starting and stopping. And this is the part where it gets real. Procrastination isn't laziness. It's the absence of immediate consequences coupled with the lack of clarity. Think about it. When you don't do the thing today, what happens? Nothing. Your life continues, nobody calls you out. There's no immediate punishment. So you don't do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that. And the consequences, they don't come right now. They build up. They stack. They accumulate over months and years until one day, you wake up 3 years older and you realize that you're still stuck in the same place. That's the consequence. The burden of knowing all this time has passed without you becoming the person you said you wanted to be. And here's the part nobody talks about. The real reason you're procrastinating isn't because you're lazy or undisciplined. It's because you don't have clarity. You don't actually know what you're building towards. You don't actually know the goals you're setting. You don't actually know what you want. You say you want to be your higher self, but who is she? What does she do? How does she spend her time? How does a day look like? You can't become someone you haven't defined. It's like saying, I want to travel, but not knowing whether that means backpacking through Southeast Asia or just staying in a villa in Tuscany. The preparations, mindsets, and versions of you that does each of these different vacations are different. So before we talk about discipline or consistency or any of that, we need to talk about clarity. Because clarity is what cuts through the fog of procrastination. And I've already made a whole video diving deeper into this topic, so if you're interested, I'll leave it up here where you can watch it. Another key thing to note is that you can't be doing everything at once. This is where I see women sabotage themselves completely. You try to transform your fitness, your career, your relationships, your finances, your mindset, your morning routines, all simultaneously. And then you wonder why you burn out in 3 weeks. So pick 1 to 3 things. That's it. Not 10, not 15. 1 to 3 areas where you're going to be legendary. Not average, not pretty good, excellent. And I know what you must be thinking right now. But Joe, I don't want to be neglecting other areas of my life. But I'm saying that if you're serious about transformation, real transformation, you have to put an extraordinary amount of work into these areas. And the idea of balance, that you can have everything, every time, all at once, every time, is not possible, especially during this period. During an active season, you don't just see athletes lying down on the couch all day. They're up at 4 a.m. in the gym getting their reps in. When a founder is out there raising funds, they are not at the clubs late at night drinking only to wake up the next morning with a hangover. They're spending every waking moment studying and memorizing their pitches. The people who become legendary at something don't just dabble, they obsess. They rewire their entire identity around it. That's the level of obsessiveness and dedication that you need if you truly want huge, impactful change in your life. And the bigger your dream is, the more dedicated you have to be. For me, it's YouTube. Content creation, building this community and my business with you. I think about videos when I'm at home, when I'm eating lunch, when I'm going to sleep. My brain is just always in this world. And some people might say that's unhealthy, but that's the truth behind what it takes to actually make something work. Now here's where I'm going to lose some of you, but I'd rather be honest than tell you what you want to hear. You cannot even have 1% of doubt. Not even a tiny sliver, because doubt is poison. It's the voice that says, maybe I'm not cut out for this, or what if I fail, or I don't think I can do this. And this is specifically where we as women struggle. We are so used to playing small, so conditioned to second guess ourselves, so comfortable with making ourselves smaller so that others feel more comfortable. But you cannot transform your life from a place of self-doubt. You're either all in or all out. There's no in between. And that means protecting your belief at all costs. If someone in your life makes you question yourself, then you need to distance yourself from that person. Physically if you can, and mentally if you can't. Because if they don't have the life that you want, why are you listening to what they have to say about yours? I'm not saying cut everyone off and go full-on hermit mode with no interaction whatsoever from the outside world at all, but I am saying be protective of your energy and of your belief in yourself during this time period. I know sometimes for us as ambitious women, if we are too much for this space, then we try and make ourselves seem smaller. We always find ourselves trying to please everyone. But you can't play small if you want to win big. You have to understand that this is your life. And whatever decisions that you choose to do with that is exactly that. Your decisions. You need to learn to treat other people's opinions as just noise and learn to silence the opinions of haters, yes, but more importantly, you need to learn to silence your own doubt in your head. And this ties directly to what I talked about in some of my previous videos about confidence. Because confidence isn't something that magically appears. It's something you build by proving to yourself that you can constantly do hard things. That you can show up even when you don't feel like it. That you can be the person who follows through. So here's what the next few weeks are going to look like if you choose to commit to this. And I'm going to be real with you because I want you to be prepared. The first 2 to 3 weeks are going to be brutal. It's like takeoff on an airplane. That's when the engines burn the most fuel. That's when it feels heavy and uncomfortable and full of resistance. Your body and brain are going to fight you because they like routine and comfort. Most people quit during the takeoff. They hit the 2-week mark, have one bad day, and decide this isn't for me, I'll try again later. But once you get through that initial resistance, it gets so much easier. The person you're becoming starts to feel more natural than the person that you were. You have 90 days. That's 2,160 hours. What are you going to do with them? Are you going to waste them the same way that you wasted the last 9 months? Or are you going to prove to yourself that you can actually do this? Because the truth is, if you can't make a change within 3 months, what makes you think that you can do it within 12? New Year's resolutions don't change you. Daily decisions do. Habits do. Identity shifts do. And look, I know this is a lot. I know you're sitting here probably feeling both inspired and overwhelmed. Like you want to do this, but you're not sure how to implement it without falling back into old patterns. That's exactly why I'm building something for ambitious women like you. Women who are done playing small. Women who are ready to stop second-guessing themselves and who are actually ready to start going after what they actually want. Women who need more than just another productivity video. They need a system, a community, actual support. Because here's what I've learned. Transformation doesn't happen in isolation. You need someone who knows what it's like to battle self-doubt while trying to level up. You need frameworks that actually work for how we operate. You need accountability that doesn't feel like judgment. I'm creating that space. It's going to be different from anything else you've ever seen before because it's specifically designed to address the things that we struggle with as ambitious women. The doubt, the playing small, the overthinking, the guilt. If this is resonating with you, if you're tired of knowing what to do but not doing it, if you're ready to walk into 2026 already transformed instead of just talking about it, if you feel like you need a community of like-minded, supportive and ambitious women with the biggest dreams to spur each other on, well, I'm working on that as we speak. And I'm going to drop more details soon. So just know that this is for the women who are serious, who are ready to go all in. But for now, I've linked my free PDF template that will help you understand and work through your fears and help you set yourself free from the cage that is your mind, in order to help you actually start to go after what you actually want. It is 100% free to use and download, so I'll leave the link down below. So here's where we are. We've got 3 months, you know what you need to do. Get clear on what you're actually building, pick 1 to 3 areas to focus on, remove the doubt, protect your beliefs, and push through the brutal first few weeks. So drop a comment down below with your 1 to 3 focus areas for the next 3 months. Make it specific, make it real, because I'd love to cheer you on. And if what I'm working on is something of interest to you, make sure to leave it in the comments down below so that I can keep you in mind. And you'll be the first to know when it goes live. 3 months from now, you're either gonna wish that you had started today, or you'd be super grateful that you did. Now go prove to yourself what you're actually capable of. Until next time, take care of your heart, your mind, and your dreams. I'll see you in the next video very soon.